All right, Nerdy Bones back in the studio. New mics.
Yeah, new mics tonight.
What's up, brother?
What's up, Keith?
Dude, I'm super happy about tonight.
Yeah.
Like it took a little bit of pushing, but we're doing it tonight.
I kind of liked it more as you talked me into it.
Yeah. Well, like I think just off the cuff, we got to say we're doing Power Rangers and Voltron.
Yes.
And the reason I wanted to do these two topics together is they just felt like they were like kindred spirits.
Oh, totally.
They just felt because I'm gonna
Very
get
much so.
Well, I'm gonna start off with Power Rangers and talk about Kabuki, and then that's gonna just like completely piggyback.
Oh, and also we're going from like live action to animation.
Yeah,
Which would be cool.
yeah. So thank you guys for
Very much a celebration of Japanese culture tonight.
It's 100%. It's fucking 100%. Like I wouldn't be surprised if Donald Trump actually won because of Power Rangers. There's just like no, this is a joke that I was reading. There's just so much shit that is behind Power Rangers.
Okay.
Like, it's so influential in so many things that you like.
Really?
Yeah, it's just fucking amazing, dude.
Okay.
So I'm gonna start off. Some Power Rangers right quick.
Bring it.
And the thing is I gotta put up my metal fingers.
Oh, the metal.
They got to put up the
Sign of the devil.
The sign of the devil.
Yeah.
The thing is like Power Rangers had the best fucking theme song ever.
They did. They had a really good theme song.
You know, and I'm gonna get into the guy that actually wrote it. But his whole thing is I'm fucking putting the cart before the horse.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Just go, man. Play it.
After 10,000 years, I'm free! It's time to conquer Earth!
Alpha, Leaders Escape. Recruit a team of teenagers with attitudes.
Go, go, Power Rangers! Go, go, Power Rangers! Go, go, Power Rangers! Mighty Morphin Power!
Rangers. I love that because like at the opening of that, like you've got all of them like looking at the screen, like giving like the actors like looking at the screen, like giving a smile and like, okay, yeah, we're Power Rangers.
Yeah.
But thank you guys for indulging me on this topic because it's just like something that I love.
Yeah.
Like to this day, like Megan.
This takes you back a little bit.
Well, and it's I growing up as a martial
I think
art.
Ronnie's gonna love this one.
Oh, dude. well,
Shout out Ronnie.
Shout out Ronnie. Like growing up as a martial artist, like this was like in the United States, we didn't have anything like this. We just did not have anything like this. And I'm going to get into Sentai, which is where the Rangers came from. But they had a debut on August 28th, 1993 in the Fox Kids Morning Block.
Yeah.
Which was, it
was 93?
93.
Wow.
And one of the things we were talking about before we started recording was like this was one of those things where like I was just like a little too old to be into, but I was like, no, I'm fucking watching this.
It was kind of in my age range. I think I actually would try to get home sooner to watch it.
Yeah, well,
but I would never really admit that I watched it.
Exactly.
It was like Pokemon. I kind of caught that in the very
Pokemon. I can't say I was like really into.
I wasn't necessarily super into it, but I would try to get home a little earlier just to watch it.
Yeah.
This was back in the day when people would actually like, I need to get home from school really fast so I can you'd run home from the bus to get home to watch a show.
Well,
because there was no like DVR or anything.
Well,
I mean, you could record it, but
right. Well, to completely directly quote a guy that I really love, his name is Marcus Parks. They did a documentary on Power Rangers, and what he was talking about was he's like, well, I was a little too old for this, but the thing is like he was at that age. This is quoting him directly. Like he was at that age to where like having a crush on the Pink Ranger.
Oh yeah.
But the thing is like talking to your friends like that monster was pretty cool though too, right? So,
I did love the Pink Ranger. That's for sure.
Oh, and on that point, I'm going to get into the OG cast.
Okay.
This is the OG cast.
Yeah.
And then after the OG cast,
well, for the American show.
Exactly. Well, and I'm going to cover that.
Okay.
So the OG cast that was not Sentai, Super Sentai, and you guys out there that know anything about about it at all, you'll have an understanding of like when I get into that. So the top one, the one that I have to start with, the fucking one that I love is Jason David Frank.
Oh yeah,
the Green Ranger.
I knew you'd start with that.
Well, he had the Dragon Zord, man.
Yeah, dude.
And the cool thing about him is he was the only Ranger that was able to fight off putties without fucking morphing. That was he was like. And
he was a legit martial arts guy too.
Yes,
right?
he was. And here's the thing: is I actually need to stop real quick. If you're uninitiated and don't know what Power Rangers is, it's a team of teenagers that were able to put on a super suit and then summon. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I had to interject because I was listening to the theme song and there was a line in that I
Go,
never
Power
noticed.
Rangers.
No, it was like recruit me a team of
teenagers with attitude.
Yeah, I was like, wait, what? Did he just say that? He's like, yeah. I was like, what
you didn't know that till I told you.
No, I never knew that. Well, until I heard it. Yeah.
But the whole point of it was these, and I'm going to get into Sentai, which is like a whole fucking thing. But you know, it's if you are completely uninitiated with Power Rangers, they were a team of teenagers that would be able to summon powers and fight bad guys. We'll just put it that way.
Well, if you saw the newest Power Rangers movie too,
dude, did you know that there's been 26 seasons of Power Rangers?
I don't doubt it.
26 seasons.
Do not doubt it.
So, and the thing is, it's just kind of amazing. Like we'll get into this a little bit.
Well, the first season, you know, maybe jump ahead a little bit, but the first season was like 90 episodes or something.
103.
At least in the American.
I actually have that written down. It's 103.
That's fucking crazy, dude. That would take like 3 years to film.
Well, that's because they didn't film most of it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to start off with the original OG cast.
Mm-hmm.
Jason David Frank. He was the Green Ranger. Eventually became the White Ranger.
Yeah.
And that actually became because they ran out of Sentai footage of the Green Ranger.
Really?
Yeah, they ran out of Sentai footage of the Green Ranger. And if you guys don't know what Sentai is, Sentai actually in Japanese means fighting force.
Oh.
Yeah, that's and that's the name of the show that they took everything from. It means fighting force.
Which you're gonna get into.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
So Green Ranger, of course, the John blah blah blah.
Jason David
Frank, and then after that, I have to go into Amy Jo Johnson, the Pink Ranger, which was a lot of people's first crush.
Oh, totally.
A lot of people's first crush. Like, look at her like doing gymnastics, like in a belly shirt. And, you know, like, come on, man. Like,
yeah, the midriff shirts.
Well, and then
okay, bare midriff.
Yeah, so
that used to be a thing, by the way, for anybody who doesn't know. And like, I remember in high school, you could not show a bare midriff.
No.
You couldn't wear shirts like that. I bet they still have it at school. Like, you can't show your midriff.
Can't show your bell button.
Did kids still wear shirts like that?
I don't know.
I think they do.
That's a 90s thing, man.
Wow, I totally just asked. Do kids still do that?
Dude, because we're old guys.
Yeah, we're not that old.
So the next one I want to get into is Austin St. John, which was the Red Ranger. Oh, and the thing I actually neglected to say, starting off, okay, so Jason David Frank, the Green Ranger, White Ranger, his name was Tommy Oliver.
Yeah.
And then Amy Jo Johnson, she was pink, and her name was Kimmy Hart. And then Austin St. John was the leader of the Rangers. Like, he was the, you know...
Yeah, he was the
leader of the Rangers, and his name was, he was Red, and his name was Jason Lee Scott.
Okay.
That was the character's name.
Okay.
And then the big one that, like, it's kind of...
I always thought of him as like a Zach Morris.
Yeah. Oh, because he kind of was.
Yeah, he kind of was.
But kind of serendipitously, we have the Yellow Ranger still up there.
Yeah.
And this
our faux ranger.
Our faux ranger. Thu Tang. Her name, it's a really hard name to say. It's Korean. It's Thyu was her first name.
Okay.
And she was the Yellow Ranger. And in 1995, she died in a car wreck.
Wow.
And it's kind of rough. But, you know, like, that's...
So she was doing the show in 92 or 93?
She did the show from 92 to 95.
And then, but she...
she left actually through pay dispute, which I'll get into.
Okay.
And then after that, we have David Yost. That's Yosted. And he was the Blue Ranger. And the cool thing about him is his name was Billy Cranston. He was actually named after Bryan Cranston because he did voices for the show.
Wait, what?
I was waiting to drop that on you. The character Billy Cranston is named after Bryan Cranston because he did a lot of the voices for the monsters on the show.
Bryan Cranston did a lot of...
Yeah.
I didn't know. I never knew that. I knew like Bryan Cranston did. Of course, he played Zordon.
Well, that's why he played Zordon.
I never knew that he did voices for the show, though.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. I knew you think that was...
no idea.
I knew you think that was cool.
Yeah, I just thought he did I thought he played Zordon just because I'm like, oh, it's a paycheck for him.
No.
He actually gave a shit.
He was one of the original cast members of Power Rangers.
Wow.
Yeah. And I didn't know that till I looked it up. I actually looked at 3 different sites trying to figure out whether this was like fake or not.
But the show actually named the character Billy Cranston after
Bryan Cranston.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Do you know that's fucking cool?
You blew my fucking mind already, dude.
That's fucking cool, dude.
That is really cool. That's a nice little factoid, man.
Yeah, and
that'd be a great like geeks who drink like pub quiz.
Yeah, well, booyah.
Yeah, question.
So the next one I'm going to hit is my personal favorite after the Green Ranger is the Black Ranger. He was Walter Jones was his name, and his character's name was Zach Taylor.
Okay.
He was actually a choreographer on the show. Like he actually would put together the choreography fights on the show. Yeah, and I've got more about that later. And then we get into a point to where like the Rangers change, which I'll get into, like the leaving because of pay and stuff like that. So we have Johnny Young Bosch, which takes place of the Black Ranger.
Okay.
And his name was Adam. Are you familiar with that at all?
No.
So that was.
I don't think I only watched like maybe a year of that show at most, maybe two. And I'm sure it was still like the first season where the original cast was still there.
I can't hate on you for it.
But after the original cast was gone, I'd probably never watched it again.
So, and then the next one is the replacement for the Yellow Ranger. And like, so we have 3 Rangers that leave, 3 actors that leave over pay. The next one is Karen Ashley. She's becomes the new Yellow Ranger.
Okay.
Her name was Aisha Campbell. And then we have Stephen Cardenas, which actually just recently followed me on Instagram.
Really?
Yeah.
That's him,
pretty cool.
Nice.
And he took the place of the Red Ranger, and his name was Rocky DeSantos. So, which I thought was really cool because he actually started following me because all the stuff I started posting.
Wow.
And I actually looked, and it's like his actual verified fucking.
Very nice.
Yeah, I was like, dude, hell yeah.
Shout out to that guy.
Yeah, hell yeah. And then I can't talk Power Rangers. Excuse me, beer burps. I can't talk Power Rangers without talking Bulk and Skull.
Oh yeah.
You know, and they're actually movie directors right now that work together.
What?
Yeah.
I thought one of them became a doctor.
The main one that I'm going to get at is the guy that played Bulk, and his name was Paul Scherer, and he's actually
I've heard of him.
He's actually a producer.
Okay.
Yeah, and the one that you're talking about that became a doctor is Jason Narvi.
Was he the fat guy or
that's
the
skinny guy? That's the skinny guy. Yeah.
I'm sorry I have to say that, but that's the only way I know them. Yeah.
That was his whole thing.
Yeah.
You know,
he became a doctor.
Yeah, yeah. He's actually from what I have written down,
podiatrist.
Podiatrist. That's what I have written.
I don't know how
dude, you fucking! I can't believe you knew that.
So the other guy's producer.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
you said they were directors at first.
Well, he has actually directed a bunch of the episodes of the show.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like, while they were still
during Mighty Morphin.
Really?
Yeah, during Mighty Morphin.
So he was on the cast, and they still let him direct.
And the crazy little factoid about them is Bulk and Skull are the 2 longest running characters on the TV show.
Really?
Yeah, because they've all the Rangers have changed out.
Yeah, but they just
a dozen times. But Bulk and Skull stay as the comic relief.
Do you know what Paul Scheer has done?
I didn't write that
besides?
down. I didn't write that down.
Okay.
That's my fault for not
worries.
writing that
You want to
down.
find out? Just IMDb it.
So, and then the next one that is kind of the most important is David Fielding, which is Zordon, and he actually recorded one time.
One time?
He recorded one time.
What the hell?
Yeah, because if you look at his face, it's always the same. Like if you watch Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and you see Zordon talking, there's no voice matching there. Like, it's just all the same, and I don't know who the voice actor would be after that.
Oh, so they only recorded his face, so that's all the guy was
one time.
Okay, I can see that. Then.
One time.
I was thinking because I was thinking dialogue, like what he recorded the dialogue once, and it just used the same ever since.
Well, and then finally in the last OG cast was Alpha 5.
Alpha.
Yeah, it was a girl named Kim Strauss.
Really?
Yeah, and I thought that was kind of really cool that.
Alpha 5 was annoying as shit.
But like,
who did the voice for Alpha 5 in the newest movie?
I know what you're talking about, but I don't have that name. I just watched that.
Oh no, I know it was Bill Hader.
Was it?
I think so.
Was okay. So what I need to get to now is Sentai and Super Sentai.
Yeah.
You cannot talk Power Rangers without talking about Sentai and Super Sentai.
No.
So Sentai was a show in Japan, which I have more later. But Sentai is a show in which means fighting force or super force, and Sentai, Super Sentai. So,
did it just start out being called Sentai?
Yes. That was that specific show.
Oh, okay.
This is a genre that I have a little bit later.
Okay.
So it started off as a Sentai, which is we didn't have anything like that. And the analogy that I saw, that I read, was like Frank Miller finding manga before we had manga, because Frank Miller was the first dude to put out American manga.
Okay.
So it's just really interesting things. We get into the life of Harem Hiram Saban. I can't speak is Israeli. I can't speak. His name's Hiram Saban. Saban. And that's where you see that logo, Saban or Saban.
Yeah, Saban.
And then Suki Levy. Suki Levy was a music producer. Saban was Hiram Saban was like a TV producer. So, kind of jumping forward a little bit, they create what's called Saban Entertainment, which is Saban and Suki Levy, and they get known for doing TV theme songs. They get known for doing, like, they did He-Man, they did She-Ra, they did X-Men.
Really? Oh, I love that theme song.
Yeah, they did
some great theme songs.
They did X-Men. They did fucking Inspector Gadget. And one of the things I saw that was
it's a very iconic theme song.
Yeah, which the thing that I saw for creating the theme song for Power Rangers is because they were so popular with Inspector Gadget. The only criteria that the guys that were like putting in the money, you have to use the word "go." You know, because go gadget. Go gadget, go. Yeah. So that turns into go.
It's been so many years since I've heard that.
So that goes
Inspector Gadget theme song, but I can still like.
So but that turns into go Power Rangers.
Wow.
Really cool shit, dude. If you really think about it. But Hiram Saban, like, kind of like dialing back a little bit. Hiram Saban actually joined the Israeli army, and he did his service, and then he actually ended up creating a band called the Lions of Judas, and then they made their money doing kids' theme songs. This is where we get He-Man. This is where we get She-Ra. This is where we get X-Men. And stuff like that. They were actually doing theme songs. They were actually doing theme songs and then pitching the show after the fact.
Whoa.
Yeah, they would like do a theme song.
Well, that would happen with toys in the 80s.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially, well, like you look at He-Man.
Yeah.
There wasn't a story first. There was a toy first, and then became the comic, and then became the
they created the
TV
toys
show
first.
Well, they had a comic that went with the toys.
Right. What was that show? The Toys That Made Us.
Yeah.
So good.
Such a good show, man.
So what I want to get at to next is Saban, after leaving the army, moved to Paris and met Suki Levy in 1982.
Okay.
And that's kind of where like they kind of like start putting everything together. Is like, oh, okay, we kind of got this idea. Like, how let's kind of like let's do some of this. Like that's I've got these ideas. Like you can put these songs together. I've got these Sentai ideas together. Let's see what we do.
Okay.
So, but after that, they moved. Both Hiram Saban and Suki Levy moved to L.A. to kind of start working on their ideas. So this is where you get like He-Man, She-Ra, and stuff like that. So it's kind of neat that they did their theme songs before they even did the show.
Yeah,
like that was kind of the hard thing for me. But so at that point, Saban was like, okay, we need to kind of expand our horizons a little bit, and he took a business trip to Japan. So this is where Saban sees his first Sentai show. And he gets this fucking like spark in his mind. Like he's like, oh my God, like this is how we can. This is.
Well, I'm gonna get into it later, but when it comes to Voltron, actually there was like the guy who produced Voltron actually went to like the animation company, and he was like, oh, send me that lion show.
There you go.
And he thought it was one thing, and I think, or they thought it was like, oh, he was talking about this, and they sent him something else, I think.
Right. Yeah. But that's awesome. I'm loving that you got that. But so he saw his first Sentai show, and he kind of like started coming up with ideas and started learning what Sentai was. And Sentai is actually a type of Japanese TV that's called Toko Satsu. It's called it's Tokusatsu. Toko Satsu. Godzilla falls into this.
Really?
It's like things with puppets.
Like Kaiju.
Yeah, it's like things with puppets and like special effects. It actually falls back into Kabuki theater.
Yeah.
Which is, I was really excited to bring this up.
Yeah, dude, I want to hear about this.
Yeah, so like Kabuki theater, I tried to write this down, but I couldn't find the exact spelling for it. So there's a type of Kabuki theater that brings in special effects like on stage and then large puppets.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think it's called Ganjuku or something like that. Correct me, guys, if you know the exact word. But like, so this is where you get like a kabuki actor coming out and like doing a specific pose.
Okay.
And this is what comes into like Red Ranger, Blue Ranger.
Okay.
You know, like doing like a specific pose. You know, like doing like this is where you get like the style of your group that's a fighting force together, and they have their like, okay, think about like the specific weapons of the Rangers.
Yeah.
The Red Ranger has a sword. The Yellow Ranger has size. This is where this comes in. This is where. So here's the thing, dude. Is Power Rangers just falls back into kabuki in the 1600s.
I would never would have thought that.
Yeah, it's fucking amazing. It's fucking amazing, dude. Like I went down this rabbit hole, just like fuck. Like there's just like so much shit,
right?
And like the big thing, like I kind of prefaced it before, but like Power Rangers that we got in the 90s, what we saw the actors doing, they weren't in the suits for the first season. They weren't in the suits.
No,
like there was a completely different show called Sentai, and one of the things that I really want to get to that I thought was amazing is there like so like when the White Ranger comes in, it's just like this mishmash of different seasons.
Yeah.
That we or Saban went through and edited to make it work.
Yeah.
You know, which is pretty fucking amazing. You know, like
and we'll also get into a little bit of that with Voltron.
Yeah, like they edited into like, okay, this is season.
No, not so much, but
well, this is like season 19 of Super Sentai, but it's season 2 of Power Rangers.
How many?
Super Sentai is still going.
Okay.
Yeah, like, and that's the thing is like our Power Rangers. You go to Japan. They're Sentai.
Yeah.
You know, they're Sentai. Sentai is not a genre. Well, Sentai is a specific show, but like you go.
The name also became synonymous with the drama, or with
exactly. Which I thought was kind of interesting. You know, what I mean, like you get these characters that are quote unquote teenagers with attitude, and they can't beat somebody, then they morph. Put on their suits, get more power, can't beat them at that point, and they bring in the Zords, which is my next step. So, but actually, what I would like to do first is talk about the kabuki colors.
Oh yeah, dude,
that's what I would really
hit
like.
Me
to.
with it.
All right, so I decided to go ahead and just look at the first 6.
Okay,
it's just like the OG 6.
Yeah.
So red is heroism.
Well, this could also apply to Voltron.
Well, I'm sure it does. Yeah. Well, I'm sure it does. So kabuki, if you guys don't know what kabuki is, I wish I could explain that in one sentence. Like kabuki theater was pretty amazing stuff. Like it was the very first time that they would use like special effects on stage and like explosions and big puppets and stuff like that. But red is heroism, which fucking makes sense. He's the leader of the Power Rangers. Of course. And then green is a supernatural, which makes sense.
Yeah.
And then blue is calmness, tranquility. Then after that, pink is cheerfulness and young. You know, like, so come on, that's Kimberly.
Oh, totally.
And then black is fear.
Really?
Yeah.
That's kind of fucked up, actually.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, when they were doing the show in Japan, it was like, okay, I get it, but I know you're gonna get into this though, so I'm gonna wait.
Go ahead.
Well, no, about the colors and the actors.
Well, then, last but not least, yellow is change. Change. Okay. Yeah, like it's kind of interesting because like you look at any Sentai show, these all kind of come in and like so the big thing is Haram. I can't say it in that.
Just say Saban.
Saban, like he went to Japan, was like starting to see this stuff, and he's like he saw a toy opportunity.
Oh yeah,
he saw a toy opportunity, and so he actually started coming up with like pilots for like his own Sentai stuff. His very first one was Bioman, and I looked all over for it. There's nothing you can find on YouTube for Bioman. Yeah, like that
locked in a vault somewhere, just doesn't exist.
Yeah, it's like like Ultraman. It's kind of like that, you know. What I mean?
Okay,
it's like this big thing where it's like a robot and a guy in a suit. That's the formula.
Yeah,
for Sentai.
Just another form of kaiju.
Yeah. So after a bunch of tries of a different titles, different iterations of like bringing over different shows and dubbing them out, finally finally Fox Kids picks up Power Rangers.
Yeah.
And, you know, like, so that I thought that was kind of fucking cool. They like finally, like, if it was, you know, I wish I would have known what Sentai was at that age. I would have just watched that.
Yeah.
And, you know, like, because who knows what those seasons were doing? Who knows what those shows were fucking doing? But I thought that was kind of cool that he kind of like gave it a lot of tries and like threw in a lot of like random shit.
He's also a businessman, so he was trying to kind of make money and all
like
that.
Power Rangers stuck. You know what I mean?
And it became a phenomenon, honestly.
Yeah. And then you get here's where you run into Ron Wasserman.
Okay.
Ron Wasserman is the guy that wrote Go Power Ranger.
Okay.
You know, like it's fucking power metal, dude. You know, like think about like without that, like it's like how long have I been singing that?
Well, it's
today?
weird because you talk about how Saban was he wrote theme songs and stuff.
He did that.
But then the one show he like first really show he put out, he didn't write the theme song for.
Well, he wrote the theme,
or him or his partner.
He wrote the theme song, but Ron Wasserman.
Oh, he did the music.
Put it together.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so this is where you get He-Man. You're like, oh, I have the power. You know, like so. The big thing at this point in our childhood, theme songs played a big role.
Oh yeah,
they played a big role. Like, think about like right now, how many people our age you throw on Go Power Rangers, and they fucking know that song.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, just
good luck finding one who doesn't.
Yeah. So, I just
but we're nerds, so
yeah.
That's why we're doing a show called Nerdy Bones.
So I went through the Kabuki part of it. I went through the colors. Oh, and did you know that Power Rangers got it started in manga?
Really?
Yeah, Sentai was a manga first.
Okay, I could see that.
Yeah, it was.
That's happened a lot though with shows.
Yeah,
and it becomes a successful manga. They usually translate into a TV show.
Oh no, one
just like a Death Note. I think Death Note was a pretty popular.
Yeah.
If I mean I might be wrong, but that was probably a really popular manga that got translated into an anime.
One of my favorites.
Which, by the way, the anime is way better.
Yes,
and
dude.
I honestly I don't watch really any anime at all, but I watched the full series of Death Note. It's way better than the movie.
Speaking of which, Ron Waterman did Dragon Ball Z. Dragon, rock the dragon. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's got a lot of really cool touches there.
Okay.
But the thing I wanted to get into next was Stan Lee started trying to get into the Sentai world. And he actually sold rights to Spider-Man to this company called Tatsu.
Oh.
And that's where you get Spider-Man.
This was from like the 70s,
yeah,
wasn't it?
Spider-Man. Yeah, this is
I saw an honest trailer for it.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck?
It's at Supidiu, Spider-Man.
Okay.
And this is where the genre changes. So before the formula was okay, so this guy that's just a random person can change and put on a suit and beat somebody.
Mm-hmm.
So this is where the formula changes.
Yeah.
He can put on a suit and beat somebody, but then he calls down a giant robot to help fight with him.
Oh. So wait, what year was Super Sentai put out?
73.
So they were using Mighty Morphin Power Rangers was using footage from the 1970s.
Yeah.
Wow, there wasn't. I really didn't notice that it didn't look that old.
Look at it now, though.
Oh yeah.
Look at it now, though. But this is like where Spider-Man comes in, is where you get like the Spider-Man. And this is where you get the robots start being like introduced.
Yeah.
Like so, this kind of like changes the formula.
All right.
So what I want to get into next is the Zords.
Oh yeah.
The Zords. So are you familiar with the Zords?
Oh yeah.
Who's your favorite?
Honestly, probably the green or the white.
Dragon Zord?
Yeah, the Dragon Zord is always the most badass.
So Jason...
I honestly couldn't even probably tell you what the other ones look like now.
I got this. Where's my lighter? Do you have the lighter? So I got... I want to start with Jason.
Mm-hmm.
He had the Tyrannosaurus.
Yeah.
That was the Tyrannosaurus. I can put my paper.
Yeah, I might have had that one at one point.
So Jason had the Tyrannosaurus. He was the leader, you know, like one of the big things is I loved like the entrance of each one of these Zords. Like they come up out of like this primordial shit.
Oh yeah.
You know,
out of
like,
the water and everything.
Yeah.
Kind of like Godzilla.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's the Katsu.
Yeah.
But so you have Jason, which had the red Tyrannosaurus.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have I'm just gonna go down the line.
Yeah, go down the line.
You have Zach, which was the mastodon.
Okay.
You know,
yeah, that's right. There was one that flew.
Yeah. which I thought was when I saw
Wait, does a mastodon fly? Mastodon doesn't fly.
No.
I'm thinking of
Mastodon's a
something
big.
else.
Mastodon is.
I'm thinking of pterodactyl, maybe.
Well, Mastodon's a big elephant.
Okay.
And I just remember like thinking the first time I saw it, like Mastodon. That's a weird way
It's
to
a
say.
woolly
it.
mammoth.
It's a weird way to say
Yeah.
woolly mammoth. But and then you had the Yellow Ranger, which had the saber-toothed tiger.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, which was each one.
Wow,
of
I forgot all these. It's so bad.
I did not though. But
I know.
Each one of the Zords had their own like unique abilities. Like each one had like the mass. Well, I'm just gonna keep going.
Yeah.
So the Blue Ranger had the Triceratops, which is like the battering ram of the crew.
Mhm.
Yeah, like. So who am I forgetting? Oh, then we had the Pink Ranger, which was the pterodactyl.
Okay, that's one.
So she was like the flying one. And then last but not least, last but not least, we had the Green Ranger that had the Dragon Zord, and then the White Tiger Zord. And what
did the Red Ranger have?
He had the Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Okay.
So one of my favorite storylines was called Green with Envy. That was the introduction of the Green Ranger. Yeah. And the thing is like he was in the original Sentai show. He was introduced and was supposed to in the Sentai show. He died.
Okay.
So they ran out of footage. So you can actually see like when they use American footage to their footage because. The shield on his shoulders in the Sentai footage is like this plastic that's like all structured.
Okay.
But in the American footage it's like cloth and it like flops around.
Yeah.
But the show like picked up so much notoriety that it's gone on 26 seasons now.
Jeez.
Yeah, like that. It's one of the, in my life. It's one of my favorite shows I've ever watched. So
but could you even watch any of the new stuff?
I still do.
What?
Fuck yeah, dude.
All right.
Like I'm not.
I would just think it'd be corny as shit at this point.
I get past the corniness. I just love it for what it is.
All right.
And like I realize it's cheesy as fuck.
Oh yeah.
I realize that.
But it is one of those shows you can turn your brain off to.
Well, and just watch the fights.
Right?
Just watch the colors. Just watch the explosion.
Watch the colors.
Yeah. Like that's a lot of what I do with it, man.
So wait, one thing we didn't get into was so I said like, whoa, that's like crazy. Is the Black Ranger? You said it represents fear, and one of the big controversies with them was like, the Pink Ranger was a woman. The Blue Ranger ended up being a guy who was gay.
Yeah, and that's
which I'm sure that wasn't something they.
Well, that's why he left the show because of scrutinism.
Yeah. He almost killed himself too.
Yes,
he fought with depression.
And the one of the things I actually looked at, which is kind of fucked up, his parents put him into shock therapy.
Yeah.
To try to make that not part of him. That fucking sucks.
Yeah.
But he's like, the Blue Ranger is one of my personal favorites.
Yeah.
And like, who cares, man? Like, fucking who cares? Like, just
I don't know why I went for like identifying blue as a color that.
Well, I get what you're saying.
I'm not trying to say anything there.
Well, I get what you're saying. It's just like, and the Blue Ranger is actually David Yost, Billy Cranston is actually one of the longest running Rangers in the show.
Really?
Yeah, like, and the fact that like he got so much shit, man.
Yeah.
Like they fucking the
from the cast actually.
The cast, yes, yeah, the
cast was the one that got him. Like, the most because people who were watching the show didn't know he was gay probably. And this was at a time when you really couldn't be like if you came out as gay, like you were kind of blacklisted in a way.
One of the things that I found that was amazing is the Rangers when like you remember the putties. A lot of the times they were tasked with doing their own fighting choreography.
Okay.
Like they would literally they would come in and be like, okay, this is the shot today. Use this park bench. Go.
I always remember and they always like moved all weird.
Yeah, but like literally
like they were dancing.
Well, going into the TV show, Zach, Walter Jones, the Black Ranger, Austin St. John, the Red Ranger, and Trini, Thoi Tong. God, her name's so hard to say.
Yeah,
they were the only legit martial artists when the show started. So if you look at the first couple episodes, they're the only ones that actually have like one-on-one fights with the putties.
Oh, okay.
Like they're like the only ones that have like one-on-one fights, and the thing is they did their own choreography.
Okay,
and that's fuck. And they were only getting $600 a week, dude.
Whoa,
yeah,
that's it.
$600 a week.
Jeez.
$600.
So that's why they all end up leaving.
Yeah, yeah. And one of the things I thought was kind of funny was like, the Red Ranger, the Yellow Ranger, and the Black Ranger decided to leave the show. They decided like we can't like you're paying us crap.
Yeah.
And they're the martial artists.
And this show is making a ton of money for you.
Oh my God, so much money.
The toys and everything.
Yeah, well, I
had those toys.
Bandai toys. Like we'll get into that. Like when we do Voltron, like Bandai, like the millions of dollars with Bandai toys, millions of dollars. But so they like.
But I want to bring it back. So what did the Blue Ranger? What did the guy who played the Blue Ranger? What's he doing now?
He's a gymnastic teacher.
Yeah,
isn't that cool?
Yeah, I just wanted to bring that back.
Cool? And, in Austin St. John, the original Red Ranger, he's an EMT.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, I wanted to bring up again bring it back was you told me how the Red Ranger actually was part Native American.
Yeah. So the actor himself.
Yeah, it's all the colors they used were just kind of like what the like you
damn,
find out later on. Well, the big thing, and I want to get back to again is with the Black Ranger. Of course, they cast a black guy to play the Black Ranger, but then you were telling me like, oh, well, in Japanese culture it means fear.
Yeah.
And I was like, ooh, that was one thing I didn't realize. Like, ooh. And so in a way, I mean, honestly, American audiences would never think that.
In my personal opinion, when the show very first started, before the Green Ranger was introduced, the Black Ranger was the dopest.
Oh yeah, he was the badass though.
He would kick the shit out of him. Like, and the cool thing is, like, I actually read an interview with him, like I was talking about with Park Bench.
Yeah,
he's like, this is actually straight from him. It's like, okay, we have about 3 hours to film. Here's a park bench. What can we do with this? So, like, seriously, like,
so what's he doing now?
I couldn't find anything of that.
Nothing on IMDb.
He's probably conning a lot.
Like Jason David Frank.
Yeah, dude.
He still does Power Ranger stuff though.
Oh, he's still like his last one was I'm probably wrong, but the last I saw was Dino Thunder. There's 26 seasons of this shit.
Yeah,
26. Like, yeah, dude. Like, so there's so much convoluted fucking timeline shit.
Yeah. And what happened to the Pink Ranger? What's she doing now?
She actually left. She's actually a TV producer now.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was actually looking at it. She was running a show called I Survived.
Okay.
It's a show about people that like got kidnapped and stuff like that.
So she's doing like reality TV.
Well, no, it's not reality TV. It's a show about people that like got kidnapped or like were in a life-threatening situation. Okay. And then she like runs the show as like a narrator.
All right.
Yeah, that's.
And then the last one I want to get into is they cast the Yellow Ranger with an Asian woman, which is obviously another racist thing to do.
Well, and then she eventually was changed out to an African American woman.
Well, you said so. What I wanted to ask was like, after they realized when people pointed out, they're like, oh, it's like I think they, honestly, when they cast that stuff, they probably didn't even think about it.
Probably weren't. The thing is, you got to give them the benefit of the doubt. They probably weren't even thinking about it.
Yeah, but so when you said she died in a car accident.
She did, yeah.
So how much time was in between her like on the show and her dying?
Maybe 3 months, 4 months.
Wow.
Yeah, because she left to actually pursue a martial instructor.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Her thing was Tai Chi Kwan, and Tai Chi is. If you guys have listened to the show at all, you know that I've got a solid understanding of this stuff. But Tai Chi Kwan, you see Trini, the character on the show, doing Tai Chi Kwan.
Oh, okay.
And she actually left the show out of pay. Like, just come on, like $600 a week to be on a fucking hit ass TV show.
Yeah.
She was like, no, I'm not doing this anymore. But the fucked up thing is she wasn't even actually driving the car.
Yeah, well.
That sucks, man.
Yeah, that's shit,
but and she was 24 when she died.
Wow.
Yeah, that sucks, dude. But I'm just glad I was privileged enough to bring you guys Power Rangers.
Yeah. You got anything else you want to bring in?
Yeah, like I said, I just did Mighty
Morphin. You got nothing else you needed to cover?
No, I just did Mighty Morphin, man. Just Mighty Morphin. Yeah, I went through like Harem Saban, Suki Levy.
Yeah.
The creation of the show, the actors.
But it's still going.
Yeah,
you can still watch it.
26 years, man.
And the movie, they did the movie. I honestly hope they do another movie.
Well, like I remember personally,
because it was actually like I watched it. I'm like, no, it wasn't that bad.
Well, like I remember going to the original movie in 1996.
Yeah, I saw that one too.
Didn't that
have the original cast in it?
It did. And the newest one that
looked like shit though.
Oh, dude. And the cool thing is at that point they're not using Sentai anymore. They have
you couldn't because you were doing a movie.
Well, the thing is they have the rights to those suits now. Like the white, yellow, red, blah 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 Power Rangers. Like Harem Saban has the rights to those. Like
they still take footage though from Sentai.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. But like the OG shit, they have the rights to the helmets. It's like a fingerprint. They have a right to those characters: the White Ranger, the Green Ranger, the Red Ranger. You know, like I watched. I think it was Time Force. I think it was Power Rangers Time Force, where they did. I forget the name of the episode, but they brought in all the quote unquote legendary Rangers. So you get all the OG guys that have been like Rangers for like the last like 15 years.
Oh,
It is really cool, man. Like it. I realize I'm a nerd with Power Rangers, but it's because I'm a martial arts nerd.
Yeah.
And like the thing is each one of the Rangers do like a different style. Like you get like Trini, which was Tai Chi Kwan. You get Billy Cranston, which was more like Taekwondo. You get Zach. You get Zach, the Black Ranger, was more of like Muay Thai and jump kicks and stuff like that. And it just goes down the line. Like that's where I connected with the show, is each one of these characters are specialists and they have their own weapons.
I never realized that.
Yeah,
honestly.
dude, they have their own like. I'm going to name off the weapons real quick, just because I need to do this.
Yeah.
The Pink Ranger was a ranged character. She had the bow.
Oh yeah.
You had the Yellow Ranger, which had 2 sides, which was a up close, quick in your face character. You had the Blue Ranger, which had a bow staff that actually turned into size, but that was the thing with the bow staff is it's a very versatile weapon. You can get up close, you can back up, you can control the distance. Then you had the Black Ranger, which had the axe, which is just cutting through shit. Yeah. Like the axe is like in your face. It was the power axe.
Yeah.
And like that's how you fucking take people down. And then the Red Ranger had the fucking power sword. It's basically fucking He-Man, dude. You know, and then you get fucking the Green Ranger that had the flute.
Oh yeah.
That
I remember the flute.
That controlled the fucking dinosaur. And then he turned into the White Ranger that had Saba, the white sword. The white sword that was sentient, the white sword that had its own mind, the white sword that could make its own decisions.
Nice.
So pretty cool shit. But yeah, I'm nerding out.
And they had a lot of video games, of course, too.
Yeah. Like the one they just put out on Android, it's called Power Rangers Super Sentai.
Yeah, it's still a very successful franchise.
Yeah, dude. You don't do a TV show for 26 years, and
no, not at all.
Yeah, like
and I will say, what kind of finish this one off is and I forgot to mention it to you, but if you want to check out like a nice little documentary series on Power Rangers,
oh, dude, I'm surprised.
Check out the channel, YouTube channel Cinemassacre, and just look up Power Rangers.
Yeah,
and he did I think it was like a 2-part. Maybe 3-part series on Power Rangers.
Dude,
and also he does the angry video game nerd.
I just realized I talked for 42 minutes about Power Rangers.
Good job. Hopefully we didn't lose anybody.
No.
Well, we probably did lose a few.
Dude, if we lost them, they shouldn't be listening to us.
Right.
And I'm loving moving forward with this, man. Voltron.
Yeah,
and one of the reasons I pushed for these 2 topics together is that the Kabuki colors, and without Voltron, admittedly came first.
Yeah,
but without the Kabuki colors, the Kabuki Sentai.
Well, technically, Sentai, the show Sentai, you said it was 1973. That came first, and then because Voltron, I don't know, the shows that were both based on, I think, weren't made until the 80s.
And then we talked about Spider-Man a little bit, and the thing is like that's where you get the hero turning into a suit, and then bringing down a robot. Yeah, but I think Voltron is kind of from another vein. Yeah, like it's without Voltron, without a lot of like Battle for the Planets, like G-Force and stuff like that. I don't think we would have Voltron. But it's its own thing. Yeah. But the thing is, the Lions, which I will be able to chime in on this. The Lions have their own colors, their own. They're like, think about what the green lion is. The left leg, I think.
Well, let's hold off on that.
I'll shut my face.
Well, we're gonna get into that after our little segments because we like doing a little. We like doing a little break in between for anybody who hasn't heard us before. And so I'm gonna start out with so what you watching, Keith?
Dude, I fell in love with love.
Little pun there.
Love, Death, and Robots.
Oh, dude,
It's one of the most amazing things I've ever seen.
Yeah, for those who don't know, it's a series on Netflix. It's like
Please watch
18
it.
episodes, I think.
18 episodes.
18 episodes.
And
And they're all shorts.
And each one of them would make an amazing series.
Yeah.
Each one of them would make an
Well,
amazing.
it's all different animation styles.
Oh, and the thing is there's a couple of them that their animation style is so. It's like you're looking.
Very unique.
Well, you like there's a couple of them that are, you look at them and they're like, you actually have trouble distinguishing if this is real or
Definitely
or animation.
Yeah.
So the way I look at it is it's a showcase for animation.
That's the best way to put it, actually.
Like a Lucky 13 with the girl from Orange Is the New Black.
That wasn't her. I thought it was.
No,
but
it's
it
her.
wasn't.
That's
No.
100% her.
No.
Yeah, I have to beg to differ.
But whatever. But
Yeah,
my
but-
favorites were for anybody who hasn't seen it is when the yogurt took over, and actually the guy who voiced Brain from Pinky and the Brain does the voiceover for that.
I believe that.
Um,
My favorite is Three Robots.
yeah, Three Robots is great.
Oh, yeah. Well, like I remember, like just
We're not going to give it away either.
No. The experience for me for this series is like for each new one that came up, I was like, okay, bring it.
Yeah.
You know, like
A lot of nudity, a lot of violence.
but there's a lot of nudity.
Yeah.
One of my favorites is The Witness.
Which one was that?
This one where the girl sees a guy kill somebody through the.
Oh, that was interesting. I kind of didn't really get the ending.
Well, they switched. The thing is it's a reality paradox.
Oh.
It's she sees him kill her. He
Don't give it away.
Yeah.
But there's
She's
another
so
really
good,
good
man.
one though that was I forgot the name of it, but it was like it went into like steampunk. Yeah.
Oh, dude, yeah, that one was so.
that
good.
one was really good.
Oh my god, so good.
And it went from like talking about like magic and everything into like the modern world.
The whole point of that story was steampunk because
Yeah.
he built her a steampunk body. But yeah,
Dude,
watch
you just
this
totally
shit.
gave it away.
Just watch this shit.
You totally gave away the
I did
episode.
not even close
Yes,
give
you
that
did.
shit. Nope. Watch it. Watch it.
All right.
Like that show in particular. I said, for each new episode that came up, like they're only like 13, 14 minutes.
Well, some of them are like 6 or 7, and the others,
Right.
then they're the most I think is like maybe 17 minutes.
Yeah, but they're amazing.
But it's between those,
They're amazing.
they are.
I cannot give enough.
And it's not a long watch.
Well,
I watched it over like a couple days.
Well, I had a day off on Tuesday leading up to Street Fair.
Yeah.
And I sat on my couch smoking bowls, rolling joints,
Yeah.
and watched the entire thing. And I was just like, "Fuck, this is amazing." It's like
Good shit.
My favorite,
Mm-hmm.
it was the opening one.
Oh, that was good.
Yeah, I don't even know how to explain what that
All
was.
right. Well, we're not doing a show on Love, Death, and Robots. So,
I needed to do this day in history.
well, no, dude. You're skipping. You always do this. You skip ahead.
You fucking
What
call
else
me
you
out on it
watching?
every time.
What else are you watching? Anything else you got that you
No.
watched this week?
No,
Okay.
that's why I jumped to it.
I got a few things
Tell
just
me-
because it's
tell
been a
me
week.
what- Tell me what.
So I watched I watched more James Bond movies. I'll say that just because there's a shit ton of them on Netflix right now. I haven't gotten to the Sean Connery stuff yet, and I've gotten only into a little bit into the Roger Moore stuff.
What about the trailer for, or not the trailer, but the teaser for Bill and Ted 3?
Oh, dude, I saw you put that up earlier.
Uh-huh.
I was like, thank God, it's finally happening.
It's about fucking time.
Well, it wasn't really a trailer. It was just kind of them talking
It
about
was
it.
them telling us that they're going to do it.
I'm like, thank God, because everybody wants to see that.
Yeah, dude, come on. I'll fucking throw
yeah.
in money on that.
Well, I watched Triple Frontier on Netflix,
Triple Frontier.
which I'll probably say everything I watch on everything I'm talking about. I watched on Netflix.
I've never.
It was good. It was a nice little. It was a really, really good cast.
Yeah.
Like Oscar Isaac, Ben Affleck, Charlie Hunnam.
Really?
Oh yeah, a couple guys from
Dude,
Narcos.
really?
Yeah, really. It was a good little film. It was interesting.
Dude, nice.
Let's see what else I got. Let me get past Love, Death, and Robots. I'm looking at my queue.
Well, dude, Love, Death, and Robots is so fucking amazing.
Yeah,
Like,
it was.
It was like that was like the big thing that I wrote down. I was like, God damn it! Like we gotta get the listeners to check this shit out. Man.
And the other thing I watched was Turn Up Charlie with Idris Elba. It's pretty much
okay.
he was like a DJ who had one big hit. He was like a one hit wonder, but then he ended up like he had a friend who like a guy he grew up with who became a big movie star, and his wife was like a super famous DJ.
Okay.
So he started watching like their kid,
Okay.
but then he was trying to get himself back, off the ground again. It like Idris Elba, dude, always good to watch. You could always watch if Idris Elba's in a movie, it's usually not bad to watch.
Nice.
Even if it's not the best movie, he's always good in it.
How
Because
excited?
he's just a badass. I loved it. He hosted SNL, and they actually gave him like a James Bond question. It was like, "Can I play that?" And it was like, and they're like, "Oh yeah, what about James Bond?" And he's like, "I can play that." And it's like, and I think the ending it was like, "Can you?" And it just kind of ended on that.
How do you feel about?
Because that's actually been something that's out for years. Is like people want Idris Elba to be the next James Bond, but people are like, "Well, he's black." It's like, so what?
Well, how do you feel about gender change on James Bond?
No,
Here's my thing. Like, it's the same thing with.
I didn't mind it with Doctor Who because that was one thing.
Well,
but James Bond is just it's a male character. I don't.
Let me follow through.
Okay.
Let me follow through. Like it's the same thing with like Into the Spider-Verse and stuff like that. Just make them a new character.
Mm-hmm.
How come they couldn't be like 008, 009?
Well, yeah, they've never done a spin-off of James Bond.
Why,
That's a good point.
Why couldn't it be 1011?
Mm.
Like, why couldn't it be just a new character?
That'd be interesting.
Like why does it have to be a reboot on James Bond that's had like 25?
Well, Daniel
26.
Craig's gonna do like one more James Bond movie, and that's it. And he was like, he said after the last one, he's like, I'm never doing this shit again. It's like, and everyone was like, they show you enough money, you're gonna fucking do it. And of course, they showed him enough money, he's doing another one.
Well, here's the thing. Why not do a 008?
Yeah,
Why
that's a good
not
point,
do
actually.
You know, like, come on. Like it's
Watch what's gonna happen now. We're like, I fucking gave you an
I
idea.
called you.
Only 40 people download that episode, but they were one of that 40.
Yeah. But, why not just make it new?
Yeah.
Like just what. Like Into the
Make a good
Spider,
point.
and like my big thing with Into the Spider-Verse, like I've followed this story.
Have you even seen the movie yet?
Yes, I have.
Oh, you did see it?
Yeah, I rented it.
Oh, I haven't seen it yet. I
rented
really
it
wanted to see it.
I rented it off of Redbox.
See, that was something you did watch
Yeah,
recently.
Yeah, I liked it.
Mhm.
I liked it, but here's my big thing.
Yeah.
I don't care about race. Fuck off if you want to come at me with that.
Mm-hmm.
But Peter Parker is Spider-Man. I don't care if Peter Parker was Native American. Fuck off.
Yeah.
But Peter Parker is Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Give him a new name. Just make him somebody else. Just make him somebody else. Just make him a new character. Why is it that you have to change the mantle? Why is it that you have to like take the mantle of Spider-Man and take it over to this guy?
What are you talking about? You talking about Miles Morales?
Yes, dude.
Well, they changed his name. He was just still Spider-Man, though.
He's Spider-Man. Like,
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Dude,
I'm going to get off this. Let's just get off this. I don't even know. Because I don't even know where you're going with
whatever.
it. You probably had too much to drink.
Dude, no, dude, I'm on fucking point right now.
All right. We'll just call it that. So what else? I watched, just because I was actually drunk the other night, and I watched Van Wilder again.
Nice.
Just because I was like going through Netflix, I was like, what should I watch? And all of a sudden I was like,
Van Wilder.
why don't I watch Van Wilder? I was like, okay. And that's always just kind of...
Van Wilder's...
And Ryan Reynolds was really good in that.
That's one of the National Lampoon movies that does not get enough notoriety.
No. Well, they kind of were trying to bring back National Lampoon at that point. It's honestly now, I think it's just more of a movie like name they use.
National Lampoon.
Yeah, it's not really like kind of a thing anymore.
No.
There's a really good documentary out there called
I watched it.
I think it's A Futile and Stupid Gesture.
I watched it.
Which is the name of the documentary, and then I think they named the movie after it too.
Yeah.
They did, which were both really good.
Well, it was about the guy that created the whole National Lampoon's idea.
Yeah, Bill Kenny, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
He also wrote Animal House.
Animal House, yeah.
And Caddyshack.
Yes.
That guy was a fucking
That's a good movie.
genius.
It's a good movie. It's got the guy that plays MacGruber.
Mm.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
I just don't know the
I forget
guy's
the
name.
name off the top of my head.
Yeah, but continue.
And then I think the last thing I watched was another thing. For some reason, I just all of a sudden put this movie on was Bull Durham.
Bull Durham?
Yeah, it's got like Tim Robbins, Susan Sarandon, and Kevin Costner in it. I'd never seen it before, and for some reason, I just like put it on, and I was like, okay. And
I'm not familiar.
it's a baseball movie.
Oh, well,
yeah,
that's
it's one of
probably why
those.
I've never seen it.
If you want to watch a good Kevin Costner baseball movie, you watch Field of Dreams, though.
If you build it, they will come.
It was kind of like I was like, okay, this is something I'm gonna put on. It's like it's okay, but it's not that great.
It's not that great.
Tim Robbins is kind of good in it though.
Dude, Tim Robbins is good in anything he does.
He's kind of I don't know. He's always you hardly ever see him in anything though.
Well, that's the thing is like when he's actually in something, it's good.
Yeah.
What's that movie he did with Martin Lawrence?
Oh,
Freeze, motherfucker!
Yeah, I know you're just talking about. Like that wasn't Blue Streak, was it?
It was absolutely
No, it was
Blue
Blue Streak.
Yeah.
But everyone will always, he'll always just be remembered for Shawshank Redemption.
Dude,
Which,
what
if you're
a
gonna be remembered
good
for something,
what a good
that's not a
movie.
bad movie to be remembered for.
What a good movie.
Everybody gets that one movie they're most known for.
Yeah, Shawshank Redemption. Oh my god,
That's such a good fucking movie.
like that movie.
I've seen that movie. I don't even know how many times.
That
And
movie-
it's always good.
that movie gives me feels,
Oh, totally.
and I hate movies.
That's
that-
probably the main movie that Morgan Freeman will be remembered for too.
I hate.
It's always like, oh, what movie do they yell at you when you're on the street? It's like Shawshank, the Shimshank.
the Shimshank.
Yeah.
I hate movies that give me feels. I hate that because I have to admit it.
Jennifer Lawrence always did that for me in the Hunger Games movies. I gotta admit that.
I can't argue that. I can't argue that.
Anyway, that's enough for that.
Where are we going?
This day in history.
This day in history. So one of the things I decided to start doing with this day in history is I want to start doing birthdays. So in this day in history, oh my god, I don't have it.
Oh, I will say this though. While you're looking that up, is today is the first day of spring.
Yeah.
And when we're recording this.
So in this day in history, in 1928, Fred Rogers was born.
Oh, Mr.
Rogers.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so I'm gonna start doing that in this day in history. I'm gonna start doing the births.
I really want to see that Mr. Rogers documentary too.
Dude, who?
And also Tom
dude.
Hanks. Tom Hanks is playing Mr. Rogers.
What?
Or his documentary. Yeah, it's a movie about his life. Yeah.
What?
I mean, come on, Tom Hanks. He'll probably win an Oscar for it too.
Dude,
watch.
like I was literally.
You can quote me right now. He'll win an Oscar
I
for
was
playing
like
Mr. Rogers.
literally pointing my finger at you, and I was gonna say, who could play fucking Fred Rogers?
Yeah.
What? Yeah, dude, I can't think of anybody better.
Yeah.
I can't think of anybody.
No, totally.
better. Dude. And did you see that they fucking took Crocodile Hunter,
Oh, Steve Irwin.
put him into Pokemon,
What?
turn him into a Pokemon character.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and I can't say that that's not
Into
a
the
awesome.
Detective Pikachu movie, or
I don't
or the
know. I
games?
just saw it on my Facebook feed
oh, that's cool.
that he's like in the Pokemon world now.
That's awesome. They probably made
And-
him look like a crocodile.
No, he's a trainer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Oh, nice.
And I was like,
Fuck yeah.
I was like, you know what? Cool.
That's something from that's something from us. Like we'll people in our early to mid 30s will
Yeah.
remember Crocodile Hunter. I
Yeah,
used to watch with my dad a lot
Yeah.
on Sundays.
So the last thing that I have to throw out for this day in history is on this day in history in 1982, Joan Jett got their first fucking hit with
Joan Jett and the Blackhearts.
yeah, Joan Jett blah, blah, yeah. was I Love Rock and Roll.
Nice.
I love rock and roll. Put another dime in the jukebox, baby.
Yeah.
Like that, they got onto the charts today.
Nice.
So pretty badass.
Cool.
So
All you got?
yep,
All right. So guess we'll it's high time.
it's high time.
We're gonna get into Voltron.
From days of long ago, from uncharted regions of the universe, comes a legend. The legend of Voltron, defender of the universe. A mighty robot, loved by good, feared by evil. As Voltron's legend grew, peace settled across the galaxy. On planet Earth, a galaxy alliance was formed. Together with the good planets of the solar system, they maintained peace throughout the universe. Until a new horrible menace threatened the galaxy. Voltron was needed once more. This is the story of the super force of space explorers. Specially trained and sent by the Alliance to bring back Voltron, defender of the universe.
Oh, dude, Voltron!
I love that
motherfucker.
epic intro, man. So
Dude.
that's such an 80s intro too.
You know, dude, and like Voltron kind of harkens back to like Sentai, which we were
Oh,
doing
yeah.
before.
Mm-hmm.
So, dude, hit me with it, brother. Hit
Okay,
me with it.
so Voltron was created by Toei Animation.
Which was actually Toei was actually the company that carried Sentai.
Yeah, and I didn't write it down exactly, but there was a few There was a few different shows that Toei made, and I wanted to
Spider-Man. Toei did Spider-Man.
did that.
Yeah,
No, they did animation though.
Well, Toei did Spider-Man. I know that for a fact.
So I just want to say in the 80s, let's find some good ones. Give me a second. I know they did like One Punch Man. Oh, Transformers.
Dude. Transformers.
That was the one I wanted to focus on most.
Speaking of which, with that
Dragon Ball.
Speaking of which, that voice you just heard.
The original Dragon Ball, then Dragon Ball Z. Like that's actually the one that they're most known for is doing Transformers and Dragon Ball Z.
Well, that voice you just heard was Optimus Prime.
Peter Cullen.
Yep, doing the intro for Voltron.
Sailor Moon, Dragon Quest. I just want to, they did. I mean, they've done a shit ton of Japanese stuff, of course. They did Digimon, I guess.
Digimon, Digital Monsters, Digimon are the
my
champions.
cousin is really into that. Well, he was at the time. He was really into.
I was all into Digimon when it came out.
Yeah, but they did all the Dragon Ball stuff.
Nice.
Dragon Ball Super, which was a movie.
Super is the shit. If you guys like Dragon Ball, fucking.
So I just wanted to let people know like what that company has done because they're pretty influential in Japanese animation.
Big time.
So the American version of Voltron was put out by World Events Productions.
Nice.
Yeah. And the original series aired in syndication from September 10th, 1984 to November 18th, 1985.
Dude, I remember having the toys. Like,
and the first season, I think, was super popular in the U.S.
Well, it was
like number one.
I had the Bandai toys, which was like I kind of put off the Bandai stuff till you started talking about this.
I'm not sure if there was a few different companies that put out the toys, I think. Because I know at one point Matchbox put out the toys.
Yeah.
Let's see. Matchbox, Toonami, Mattel put out.
Toonami.
In late 2011, Mattel put out toys. Playmates put out toys. Bandai, in early 2017, Bandai Japan produced the toys of Beast King, Go Lion, and Armored Fleet Daggeroo back in the initial releases.
Hell yeah.
Which I'll get into that in a second. So, but the box was repackaged as Voltron for its American release. And then even Lego, which I want to get into the Lego one later. Just because that one is fucking awesome. So anyway, the one thing I guess in Japanese animation at the time was you look at a lot of Japanese animation shows that got ported. That got kind of ported. I want to use the term ported. Mm-hmm. They got ported over to America, where they were mashed together. Honestly, they were renamed, like re-edited.
Well, that's the whole thing I was talking about earlier. It's like Saban in particular, like would take stuff over and like just redub and.
Well, there's so much stuff getting put out. I mean, I guess I saw a little thing of like Robotech, like that was really mashed together too.
Yeah, dude, Robotech was.
And that's
really
the one thing with a lot of those the early Japanese animation shows. I'm sure probably still happens today. Well, maybe not as much today. But at the time they were just repackaged. The
big one that I can speak of in particular on this subject is Attack on Titan.
Mm-hmm.
Continue.
But yeah, you see that a lot with like even you look at Japanese animation nowadays, and they always try to make it on the cheap. Like let's focus on one shot.
Yeah.
But we're not getting into anime tonight. That could be a crazy long topic,
dude.
So anyway, get back to Voltron, Defender of the Universe.
Defender of the Universe.
The first season was known as Lion Force Voltron, and it features a team of 5 young pilots commanding 5 robot lions, which can be combined to form Voltron, which is the traditional way we know Voltron. And
who's your favorite? Ooh. Mine's the Black Lion. Always.
Always. And the newest series? Because that's actually the one thing I would say. I've never watched the old series. I really like the guy who was the Red Lion, but later became
Keith.
The Black Lion.
His name is Keith.
Yeah, I really like that guy because you see his growth throughout the show.
Yeah,
it's really good.
Continue. I did not mean to like derail, but like speaking of the old series.
No, yeah,
like because I was a huge fan of the old series.
Yeah. Well, it got released on Netflix as Voltron in 1984.
Cool.
Or Voltron 84.
Cool.
And I'm gonna get into why that is. Because this was kind of interesting to find out about Voltron because I just never really knew about it. I'm sure maybe not a lot, but some people know about it. So in this, to go back to Lion Force Voltron, the first season, in this undefined future era, the Voltron Force is in charge of protecting the planet Aris, ruled by Princess Allura from the evil king.
She becomes the Yellow Lion, right? No, I'm sorry.
I can't remember.
Keep talking.
From the evil king Zarkon from planet Doom, his son Lotor, and the witch Hagar, who creates a huge quote unquote roe beasts. So pretty much like kaiju, giant monsters, to terrorize the Erusian people. And despite being the first of the 2 robots to appear on American television, the Go Lion version of Voltron was regarded as Voltron number 3. And this is something I'm going to get into. So that was like the traditional Voltron we know of is known as Voltron 3 at the time, or even kind of now, maybe. I don't know. Within the story line, because with
Voltron's actually the name of the robot.
Yeah.
The fully realized robot.
Yeah, within the story, because within the original Plan 3 Voltron continuity, Aris was the furthest setting from Earth's side of the universe. Voltron 1 being intended for the near universe, and Voltron 2 being intended for the middle universe.
Oh, okay.
Which is something I didn't know about.
That.
Well, and also because I only know it from the Netflix series, and it's like,
well, I'm
on the original series that was they were just defending one planet, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the second Negan
with the guy with the bat.
Yeah. The second season was known as Vehicle Team Voltron, and a lot of people really fucking hated this one. And it was and I actually, I said the did I said that? Oh, I didn't mention the series that the Lion Force Voltron was based off of. I can't believe I missed that. What the hell? I didn't put that in my shit.
Oh, dang.
So let me just find that real quick.
So Nick's using a computer. I usually use paper. So there's a big.
So the first series was primarily edited from Beast King Go Lion.
Beast King Go Lion. I know this.
It was Beast King Go Lion. That's what the first series was about.
That's why.
That was the first. That's what the first series.
That's why they're lions.
It was rebranded as Voltron, but that was the name of the series.
Mm-hmm.
And so in the second season, it was edited from Armored Fleet Dagaroo 15.
Well, this
or
is
X5
this
or
is
XV.
This is the whole Sentai shit.
So it was edited from a completely different anime, but it still had that Voltron tag on it.
Yeah,
the Vehicle Team Voltron. So with this storyline considerably changed, like in this iteration, Voltron, the Galaxy Alliance's home planets are now overcrowded, and a fleet of explorers is sent to search for new planets to colonize. Along the way, they attract the attention of the evil Drool Empire, long engaged in an ongoing war against the Alliance, and the Drools proceed to interfere with the mission of the explorers and the colonists. Since the Erusian Voltron is too far away to help these explorers, a totally new Voltron has to be constructed to battle the Drool threat. The Voltron force consisted of 15 members divided into 3 teams of 5, known respectively as land, sea, and air teams.
Aha! I'm glad you fucking dude. Yes.
Each team is specialized in gathering data or fighting in their area of expertise. Each team can combine their vehicles into a bigger machine.
Centurions actually branched off from this,
and with each combined vehicle differing among the 3 teams. And these fighters are the Aqua Fighter, the sea team, the Turbo Terrain Fighter, the land team, and the Strato Fighter, the air team. And when necessary, all 15 vehicles combine to form the mighty Voltron. 15. Fucking 15.
Dude, here's the thing. Let's say it together. The mighty Voltron.
The mighty Voltron. Totally did not say that.
Yeah, I said it first.
So in the toy line, this Voltron was referred to as Voltron 1 because it was set the closest to Earth. However, the assembly of the vehicle Team Voltron could not be maintained for longer than 5 minutes at a time.
What? I didn't know that.
This is on the show. It was explained in the first episode that when it was combined, the vehicle Team Voltron only had enough stored solar energy to operate for 5 minutes. And I'm thinking after fucking with 15 different fucking vehicles coming together, that's a lot of goddamn power.
That's like Transformers times 5.
Pretty much. Well, yeah, but the Transformers never combined to
no, they didn't.
I don't think they ever did.
Well, here's the big thing is that you're getting into the Sentai, the Tochikayu, like we were talking about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
It's you get into so here's the guys in these suits, and they can fight in these suits, but we need the big robots to finish it out.
Yeah. Well, Voltron never went live action either.
No.
I'm not gonna. I wasn't gonna bring it up at all actually, but There were plans to do a live action Voltron movie.
How amazing would that be?
But I guess there's a whole thing with the rights of like who actually owns the rights to Voltron.
Dude.
And
I wish you guys could have seen me right now. Yeah. I threw my hands up and I was
I think Netflix should totally get on that and be like,
Hell
who owns the rights to Voltron?
yeah.
Let's do a live action Voltron.
Hell yeah.
Like movie.
Hell yeah.
That'd be fucking awesome, man. They're getting an Ultraman movie coming out soon.
Yeah. Oh, what?
It's not live action, but it's animated. Yeah.
They're doing an Ultraman movie?
Yeah, it's an animated one. It's in Japanese, but
okay. Continue.
But okay, so the second season of Voltron was not a success. Very much so, not a success.
What was the year on that? Do you know?
Well, that would have been 1985.
Okay.
So relaunching the series with completely new characters and in a completely new situation in a completely new setting was alienating to fans, and the planes, cars, and boats that make up Vehicle Voltron were a lot less exciting than the lines of the original run. Totally agree with that. I didn't even look at a picture of like the second season ones. And I'm like, I know they were shitty. Because come on, how badass is the fucking?
Well,
Voltron?
the lions are the biggest.
Lions.
The lions are like the biggest things about Voltron. Yeah.
So the poor reaction to the second Voltron resulted in the canceling of plans for a third Voltron, and the third Voltron, this one would have been adapted from the series Lightspeed Electroid Albagas. Which is kind of weird to say. Albegas.
Is it
Albagas.
Is it out of
Albagas?
Is it kind of out of line to say that Power Rangers had a hand in Voltron as far as their?
Maybe. I'm sure there was some inspiration there.
Well, you just said Lightspeed.
I'm sure that, but yeah,
because there's not.
Well, no, there was a series. It would have been adapted from the series that was already out. So the series actually did happen. I'm assuming. I didn't look enough into it. I just don't have that kind of time.
Me neither.
So while the show never came to be, toys of this third Voltron, known as Gladiator Voltron, were released and marketed. And after Vehicle Voltron failed to capture imagination in the same way as its feline predecessor, the Voltron franchise was, the Voltron franchise was put on ice for about a decade. And the third season actually would have been called Gladiator Voltron or Voltron of the Middle Universe. And it was to have been, let's see, I already got into what it was based on. And a Matchbox did produce and market toy versions of the three robots: Black Alpha, Blue Beta, Red Gamma, under the Voltron 2 name. Let me see. But due to the extreme popularity of Lion Force Voltron and the lack of popularity of the Vehicle Team Voltron series, World Event Productions eventually elected against another alternate Voltron, and plans to adapt Albagas were scrapped. So let's get a little bit more into it.
It feels a lot like Power Rangers, like vehicle. Like they did Turbo, which it was all about like vehicles.
Mm-hmm.
Like it feels like in my mind, it's all kind of based off the same stuff as far as
how long was you said the Sentai was in the 70s?
Yes.
So by the time that this show aired, which I'm not sure exactly when those series, I didn't look into it, like when those series exactly aired.
Yeah.
I could probably try to find it right now.
Japanese culture, like we got.
In fact, I'll look in the Beast Line.
Like we got
Beast King, Go Lion. Let's see.
We got into on Power Rangers. What we were talking before is like Kabuki, which is in the 1600s. So
yeah,
continue.
So I'm just looking to find out when so Beast King Go Lion, which was the first season, was based off of original aired in 1981. So I just wanted to find that. So it wasn't. Yeah, it was definitely by that time there was that influence was out there.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Of that, and that definitely became a very big part of the culture. I mean, like Godzilla and the Kaiju movies.
Yeah.
You know, who's to say? You know, the Sentai obviously took a lot from the Kaiju movies.
Absolutely. Yes.
So I just got to put that out there.
Well, it's one.
So
go ahead.
Yeah. So I wouldn't doubt that the people who made Voltron had heard of Sentai by then and watched a ton of it.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
So to keep going on with this, so in 1986, World Events hired Toei Animation to produce the one-off crossover special Voltron Fleet of Doom.
Oh shit!
Which mixed in Go Lion and Daggeroo 15 footage with new animation, and the special was made for the international market. And as of the middle of September 2016, because obviously it has not been updated, and as far as I know, even now it has not been released in Japan. But I do think this is actually one you can watch on YouTube.
Okay.
But from a video I watched earlier about it, it is fucking horrible. Because one thing they did was they actually put the two Voltron, I think, in the same universe, and like they had to fight against some evil. That
the Netflix Voltron's been amazing though. The Netflix.
Yeah, we're gonna get to Netflix. Don't worry about
I'll
it.
shut my face. Go ahead.
In 1998, like I said, after a decade, 1988, they did another computer generated. They did another Voltron series called Voltron: The Third Dimension, which was computer generated. And from everything I've seen and heard, it looked like fucking
I haven't
shit.
seen that.
It looked really bad. Apparently, they had a really good voice cast. I think like Tim Curry was part of Billy West.
Tim Curry, really?
Yeah, they had a really good voice cast, but the animation was shit. So it was set 5 years after the end of the original Lion Voltron series, and the series was met with a mixed response due to various changes, such as the revamped looks of Lion Voltron, King Zarkon, and Prince Lotor. The series served as a sequel to the Lion Force Voltron series. Among the tools used to bridge the gap between the two series was an official star map. But the series only lasted 2 seasons because, like I said, it looked like shit. And after the show,
I kind of feel like I remember that.
And after the show ended, World Events Productions went back to the drawing board to develop a more traditionally animated series in an attempt to recapture the spirit of the original. So there was a few years, looks like over 10 years later. So in
the Voltron's had a huge arc. Like,
yeah,
it's been a lot.
So another animated series, a traditional animated series was developed called Voltron Force, and it premiered on Nicktoons in June of 2011.
What? Oh shit!
Yeah, and this series followed the exploits of a group of 3 young cadets brought together by the original members of the Voltron Force to defend the galaxy against a resurrected Lotor, now ruling the planet Drool after a military coup d'état. It ended. The show ended on April 25th, 2012, with the episode Black. But unlike the original Voltron series, the uniforms of the Lions pilots are the exact same color scheme as their respective lions. Because you see that actually even the newest series was like they get to a point where like their uniforms didn't match the lions.
Well, and they would switch lines.
And even in the original series, that happened where like their uniforms didn't match the lions they were in.
Right.
And later on, this series became non-canon.
Can you argue?
Aw, that's a collective like. Aw, why did it not become canon?
Because you fucked it up.
So the last one I'm gonna get into is the Netflix exclusive series Voltron: Legendary Defender,
which is fucking amazing.
Yeah, produced by DreamWorks Animation, was a reboot of the Voltron story, and I had written down the guys who were producing everything, but one thing I love was when I was watching one video earlier was the guy said like we're putting out a Voltron series the way we remember it, not the way it like not like an exact remake. Out. Well, because it's like your memory is always like the memories of a show are always better than what you like than the actual show type thing.
Well, and the Netflix Voltron is fucking awesome, dude.
So let me finish and we'll get into that. So it was produced by DreamWorks Animation. And the series premiered on June 10th, 2016 with 13 episodes, and it would go on to last 8 seasons and had its last season debut on December 14th, 2018 and consisted of 13 episodes.
That's my birthday.
Really?
December 14th. That's my birthday.
It's crazy to think that of us recording right now, that was only like, 4 months ago?
Yeah.
3 months ago. I'm
well,
sorry.
I've enjoyed.
My math is bad.
I've enjoyed
3 months ago. So
I've enjoyed,
and I actually really enjoyed the last season. A lot of people, and there are people who will totally hate on Voltron now for like, it wasn't like what I remembered in my childhood, or maybe,
dude, like
I loved this show.
Me too.
I always looked forward to that whenever it came out on Netflix. I was like, I have to watch this.
Well, it's because it's good. It's good.
And it was and just learning about Voltron, and of course I didn't get into like the names of the pilots
right
at all.
Well, I
probably should have.
My big thing is I watched it in the 80s,
but I'm more trying to give a history of Voltron. I mean, because if you're listening to this and you've probably watched Voltron before, so you know the characters, you know what they're about, and I'm just trying to give a little bit of like this is what happened with the series and how it came to be and where it's at now.
Or like
And I kind of wonder if actually how long it'll be before maybe they decide to do something else with it. And hopefully Netflix will decide to be like, hey, let's do something else with it.
well, like the big,
Let's do a live action movie.
well, the big reason that I wanted to do these two topics together is because Voltron and the Power Rangers are so similar. It's not even funny. It's not even funny.
Very much.
You know, like they have their suits that come together. They have a giant robot that comes together.
Yeah.
And then they deal with a threat.
Yep.
You know, like so it's a lot, dude. But I'm just glad to finally do Power Rangers and Voltron, dude.
Oh, dude, totally.
I pushed you. I was like, dude, we're doing this.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, dude, I was glad to do this episode.
Definitely, dude.
Yeah, and
I learned a lot about it, like a lot of useless knowledge about Voltron and Power Rangers. But I'm kind of a pop culture junkie. A little bit.
And at the end of this month, Rufus the Villain True Crime Corner H.H. Holmes comes out. That's gonna be
a good one.
That's gonna be like just a real quick thing. H.H. Holmes is the first documented serial killer in the United States.
Wow.
So yeah. So we got some cool stuff online for that.
So you got anything else you want to say about Voltron or Power Rangers or any questions?
Well, dude, Power Rangers, one of my favorite franchises of all time.
Yeah,
you know, that's just one of those things that I just love. And Voltron is right up there with it.
Yeah,
like I remember watching the 80s version of Voltron, and like watching like the theme song and the opening. And you're like the defender of the universe.
Yeah.
You're like, it doesn't get much cooler than that, dude.
Yeah.
Does not get much cooler than that.
No, not at all. So it this has been Nerdy Bones.
Been Nerdy Bones, and thank you for listening to Power Rangers and fucking Voltron.
Yeah,
man.
hopefully you enjoyed it and made it all the way through.
Yeah, we put a lot of love into this one.
Yeah. So. And next week we'll be doing what are we doing?
Sam Kinison and George Carlson.
No, George Carlson.
What did I say?
You said George Carlson. No, we're doing Sam Kinison and Steve Martin.
Oh, I thought you were doing Carlson.
No.
That's my mistake.
No.
That's my
you
mistake.
Mean George? Wow.
I'm doing Sam Kinison. I know that much.
George Carlin, not Carlson.
I know. I'm doing Sam Kinison. I know that much.
Yeah. But that should be an interesting one. So look forward to that.
Yeah, we love you guys. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening.
Nerdy Bones. And we're out.